Beautiful MJ, aka Raven. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to teach you how people cold read. This is cold reading. I'm going to teach it. If you have any questions, ask later. Let's define cold reading. Cold reading is a bunch of statements that someone makes about somebody that makes them seem like they know about the person. It was made famous by a guy named Barnum Bailey from Barnum Bailey Circus. The guy was a fucking genius. Okay? Now MJ is also my student. Well, kind of in the magical arts. So face me this. So the reason why I'm doing this for you, well, one, they're gonna learn, but is because if you're gonna learn real magic, you have to know what fake magic is. You get it? So you can't fall prey to that shit. So there are some ways, there are some basic statements. Now, if you have any questions, ask me, because this is just you and I. It's like private now, okay? There's some basic statements and general statements that you can make about somebody. And they're going to ring true for the majority of people. In case they don't ring true, you have a way of what's called calibrating. Calibrating, if something's going too high, you bring it down. If something's going too low. So if there was a calibrator on, let's say, temperature of the room, if it was getting too hot, it would cool it off. If it was getting too cold, it would heat it up to keep the same level. That's what a calibration is. Goes up, comes down, okay? Calibrator keeps it at a certain level. So there are certain, a good cold reading, you start with general statements that are true for the majority of the world. And then you watch the person, and you look for yes and no's subtle body language. If they're agreeing with it, you go that direction. If they're disagreeing, you calibrate and fix it so that they agree, and then you go in that direction, okay? But let's go over some of these general statements that I use, okay? One of them is, you are a certain way on the outside, but really you're another way on the inside. Can you see how that would work?
Yeah.
Okay, so we could take this in many different ways. I could say, here's one that works. On the outside you seem very in control, reserved, like you're the kind of person that people come to, your friends, mostly for advice and things like that, and you display a very good, disciplined life on the outside, like you're in control of what you're doing. But on the inside it's a different story. Like a lot of people don't know what's really going on with you. So you have this two sides to you, that private side that you keep to yourself and maybe you share with a few people. But then there's that other side that everybody knows. A lot of times people think they know you because they think they're getting very close to you, but that deeper side of you, you really hold to yourself. Now the reason why that happens is definitely growing up, it's obvious to me that you've had your trust betrayed many times. Boom, that's a statement that will hit for anybody on planet Earth. See that? Everyone's had their trust betrayed. Whether it was a girl, a guy, friend, father, mother, who gives a shit? God, you know? Seriously. Okay, so I'm going to stop it right there, right? General statement was, you got this outside and the inside. And that is true for everybody.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? Like we could say about me, on the outside I look so aggressive and this and that, but on the inside I'm actually a gentle soul.
Yeah.
See how that works? Does that statement hit for you?
Yes.
Outside and inside? So can you see that? So if you ever go to like a card reader, astrologer, a numerologist, the moment the statements come out on the outside or inside, there's different ways to say that. The way you show yourself to others and the way you actually are. There's a private side to you and there's a social side to you. Any statement that relates to this split personality of outer and inner is a general cold reading statement, and the person making it is most likely aware that they're doing it, that this is how you... Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about pickup. I'm out, I'm talking, let's say, to a girl and you're there watching, and I say to her, you know, it's interesting, I saw you on stage right now, and you give off this very powerful confidence, and I enjoy that. People can see that, you know. But I noticed something else. When you got off the stage, you gave this look to yourself. And that tells me that you have this other side to you that's very private. And you got your persona, right? And people relate to it all the time, and they really like you for that because you got this bubbly personality. But there's another side to you that's very private that you keep to yourself. I find that fascinating. So, can you say that would be true? Okay, and that's how the pickup would work. Okay. Now MJ is also a practicing lesbian. So her and I can talk on that level of picking up girls, okay? The general statement, outside and inside, okay? Now I got another general statement. Your trust has been betrayed. Okay? That's going to hit for everybody.
Yeah.
If I'm going to go a little bit deeper into it, I can say you've definitely had your trust betrayed at some point. This is why you get that split personality, because I mean, ultimately we just want to be ourselves. But we can't be ourselves because we've been ourselves before as an innocent child growing up or whatever, and we really trusted people, and that trust has been betrayed heavily. Now, in your case, okay, let's make a note right here. When you do a cold reading, you want to make it seem very specific to the person.
Okay.
So I just said, in your case, and now the next statement is going to be really strong. You see that? So let me back it up a little bit, and I go, growing up, we have that innocence, and naturally we trust people, and our trust has been betrayed. Now, in your case, it's interesting, because that betrayal goes much deeper than the average person.
Okay.
In your case, you see that? And now I'm going to tell you something that seems very specific to you, but every human being wants to take that in. They want to say, yes, I've been betrayed more than the average person. That's why I'm the way I am. It's like this drama of life that plays out that humans like to say. Yo, you think you have your problems? You don't know what I've been through, is what everybody wants to say. Oh, you think that's bad, girl? Let me tell you about me. Oh, well, blah, blah, blah. So I'm now repeating that, and I'm saying in your case, which in the mind of the person, I'm now becoming more specific. It seems very unique.
Okay.
The rule with that is I want to say something that's slightly flattering without coming across like I'm stroking their dick for them. Okay? So if I said, in your case, you've dealt with some really heavy issues that probably would have broke somebody else, but you stayed strong. And that's obvious. Okay? People want to accept that. You get what I'm saying? Because now you're strong, or you've been through more than the average person. So the subject of betrayal is something that in cold reading will hit all the time.
Okay.
It'll even hit children at some age, 6 or 7 years old. They lost their best friend, or they took their toy, or their parents told them they were going to take them to the fucking toy store and they didn't. It's all in their own matrix, in their own world. They have been betrayed. Okay? Any questions so far on the stuff we said?
No.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So repeat it back to me with whatever you remember.
Like
whatever you remember that I went through so far. Give me some of these rules.
that.
So I want you to learn. I'm actually teaching
Yeah, no, to hit it personal, you have to make it to where everyone's like been through, such as betrayal, and you also
So
wanna-
betrayal is a button that everybody
Yeah.
has, okay? Remember that,
along
okay?
with the whole inner and outer, because everyone has their private side compared to what they show,
Good.
and you want to pinpoint that so it makes them feel more personal within
Yes,
them.
yes.
And then also you wanna interact with them and like make it personal by using the yous and what you went through, and like make it as if they're the most because they're the most important person.
Yes.
So you wanna highlight that and kind of.
You want to slightly flatter them.
Yeah,
That's what your personal statements will be slightly flattering.
okay,
And it's important that it's slightly flattering, because if it's too flattering, the person will become hip that you're trying to get something from them.
okay,
Okay?
yeah,
Okay, got that?
Yeah.
So now we got outside, inside, the subject of betrayal. Okay, now, we can take astrology. What's your,
I'm an Aquarius.
an Aquarius, okay. Watch this. So let's start again. What's your sign?
Aquarius.
Oh, well, now that makes sense. So what does that do when I say that to you?
It makes it even more personal,
Does it make you curious?
yes.
Okay, so that's what, if you're doing cold reading, and I'm going through whatever, and I go, and let's say I said that to you, and then suddenly I was like, by the way, what's your zodiac sign? You say Aquarius, I go, oh, so now that makes sense. You wanna know what it is?
Yeah.
You see that? Okay. Alright, so let's go over some general rules with this. Your sense of belonging and being accepted is important to you, but you're never gonna compromise who you are for that. Okay? And that makes you unique, because there's a lot of people, as you know, in the world that are always like compromising who they are just so they could fit in. Now, granted, sometimes you're going to do that because it's socially like it's the right thing to do or whatever. But if it comes down to it, you're never going to compromise who you are. And you've probably even lost friends, I would say, maybe even family members about on that subject. Stop, break.
Yeah.
Okay? I can say that to anybody in here, and they would want to believe that's true about them,
Mm-hmm.
especially a woman.
Yeah.
You see that? So the truth is, we all want to be accepted. The truth is, we all want to believe that we won't compromise who we are. The other truth is that I can say, well, you probably have a few times and you probably still will. See, that's what makes it all true,
Yeah.
suddenly. If I said, you've never compromised yourself, yeah, I have actually. Now you start to lose the person, okay? So as I'm saying that, I start getting into, you probably have and you probably will, but, now get this, when it really comes down to it, it's really important, you'll stand up for yourself and you'll do what you need to do. And you probably even lost friends over this. General statement that anybody after 18 years old has lost friends over something they disagreed on. Can you see how that would be?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say the person says to me, I'm a Virgo. I'm a Scorpio. Interesting. Here's what's interesting about you. Now most people, they'll just do anything to get along with the crowd. And you've done that because you're a social person, you have your friends, okay? But there's something different about you. And it's probably cost you your friendships in the past. Or maybe even family, I don't know. But there comes a point where you won't sacrifice who you are. Yes, question?
So you always kind of want to mention both sides of whatever you say.
Exactly, that's
Okay.
a rule. I'm mentioning both sides and I'm watching for cues. So right now you know you're being taught, but if you were just coming here and I had a fucking salami head or whatever and sat down, and then I'd be watching you and you wouldn't know. It would sound like I'm legitimately reading the cards or reading your palm or reading your astrology or your numbers, and then I would catch when I hit it and you'll see, I would go deeper into that.
Okay.
But this is what cold reading is. You hit both sides.
And you
and
get
you
the
watch.
reaction and go stronger.
You go that way.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's talk about like some of the things you see on TV. There's a panel of guests, and the guy comes out, he's a psychic, he says, I'm getting someone coming through. Watch, he's looking at all the cards. Now you've got to be real keen at picking up cues from people, right? I'm picking up somebody coming through. It's an older person, or it's a younger person. See that? Now, if I'm going to go with a younger person, there's going to be less people in the audience who've lost a younger person than older people. Everyone's lost a grandpa or some fucking uncle or some shit, right? So either way, but let's say I go with it's a younger person, and I'm looking and people will start to lit up, because if they're there and they want answers, and I'm looking to see my child just died, and the psychic comes and he's scanning and he'll give me eye contact, he'll look at everybody. Somebody's coming through, it's a child, it's a young child, and I'm looking, and the person, if I hit them, you'll see them shift a little bit, right? And I go, and then I start looking in that direction more. It's a child, it's a boy, it could be a girl, I see the hair. Do you see how I calibrated that? It's a boy, it could be a girl, I see the hair. That's why it could be a boy or a girl, because I see the hair. But it's very sneaky what I just said. You see that? It's a boy, it could be a girl, I see the hair, I see hair, now I'm doing like long hair, and somebody will be like, because they lost a daughter.
Yeah.
Or maybe a son with long hair, I'm looking for that person, and I start pointing. Is there a child over there coming through? Hands start to come up.
Got it.
Okay, now there's two hands coming up. I go, I'm getting a boy, or I'm getting a girl. I'm getting a boy or girl. And let's say they both have two boys, and I said the wrong one. I have a girl coming through, and they're like, and I'm watching carefully. Girl, it's long, it's like hair. Maybe this person cut their hair. Did they get a haircut recently? Before? Yeah, my son had long hair. A lot of boys had long hair before they cut it, right? Okay, now I'm just looking for it. Now, so one of these is going to hit. And an audience of fucking 200, believe me, I'm going to catch somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, then I go, yeah, okay. You have somebody, it's a young boy, right? Had hair, yes. Tell me about the hair. Because I see the hair. The hair was like a big deal. Okay, now if it's a boy who had hair, it's a big deal. There was a person who wanted to grow the child's hair, or the boy didn't want to cut their hair, or the boy cut his own hair one time without anybody. It's a hair problem that children have. Yeah, we found out he had cut his hair. Yes, he's saying, now watch this. Here comes the flattery. He's saying that his hair is just fine. Yeah. He said you were worried about it or something, or you were embarrassed, or you didn't, maybe you did he get punished? Yes or no, right? Yeah, he got grounded. He's saying don't worry about it. You see that? Did he get punished? No, we didn't punish him. He wants to thank you for that. He says you were really cool about it. Was there somebody who was really upset about it? Look at what's happening now. Yeah. I'm fabricating the whole fucking thing based on the human experience. Knowing that when a child will probably cut their hair, put makeup on them, they fuck their hair all the time, children do. And this was all made up, and I'm going to boom, 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 but I'm watching. In the audience, it's bigger. Now, with a big audience like that, when you enter, you fill out a form for the psychic.
Yeah.
There's other people involved in the process. Hi, as they check in, here's this form, your name. Is there somebody you're looking to see coming through? And the psychic gets all that behind, backstage.
I studied Sylvia Brown growing up a lot, and I would always watch her every week, and now I'm just frustrated.
Okay, well, you're going to see more. I'm going to tell you a lot more. But do you see some of the stuff I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
With her? Okay, good. So, they know a lot about it. And then, because the bigger the person gets, See, all you need is one accomplice. Let's say it was you and I was gonna cold read some bitch at a fucking bar, and you and I are gonna go pick up some girls. You strike a conversation or whatever. Okay, you find out her zodiac sign. You come back, you find out her zodiac sign, you find out, where's some pieces do you want to know? One is a zodiac sign. You find out why she's there, some shit. And then you come back and you tell me, okay? Then later, we're walking around or whatever. As we're walking around, you say, hey, let me introduce you to my friend. Sandy, this is Arash. Hey, nice to meet you. You have a very interesting aura, actually. Oh, did I tell you who eats auras? That's you.
Okay.
See what's happening? I'm getting this, hold on, you're either Virgo or Scorpio. I'm gonna lean towards Scorpio, right? Okay, now that makes sense, because the energy around you is a little purple. Now, has there been a recent argument or something? And you'll be like, oh, even though she told you. But this reaction just solidifies that you didn't know that, you didn't tell me that shit. So if you have one accomplice, you could fucking rule the world on this shit. If you have a whole stage where they fill shit out, and then the psychic says, okay, anybody who has, like heart attack area or whatever, died of heart, put them on this side, children on this side, I want these roles, and it's all planned. So the person comes up, and this is where you sometimes see them just come in and just hit super hard. Super hard. They'll come in and say, it's a problem here, a congestion, the person died like this, and they're looking in that area. I'm getting somebody right there coming through, they're telling me that their chest was, it was all fucking written down. What's that?
To directly pinpoint it.
Yeah, now it looks like sometimes the psychic will come out and just hit. What the fuck? They have information. Okay? Alright, now let's keep going on the cold read. So you see I'm going to jump back and forth. Now what about women? Because this has to do with pickup, right? Well, most with pickup. There's a few things that women are going to go through, right? Their trust has been betrayed, no matter fucking what, at some point. They've lost their best friend. Their best friend has become their best enemy if they're fucking over 18, 19 years old, because best friends become good enemies for somebody. You could hit on that. You could hit on, now I'm getting this, has your hair always been like this? Did you ever have some kind of like, did you ever do anything with your hair where it was like, whoa? It's a real question.
Oh yeah, I have.
You did, right?
Yeah.
Okay, most girls have. Okay. Now, it's interesting because when I'm looking at you, there's still a part of that here. And I don't know what that time meant to you. Just pause right there. When a girl does something drastic with her hair, it's a moment of change normally. She's either rebelling or something that's fucking gone on or whatever. So I'm going to bring that past up for a second. I don't know what that moment meant to you or anything, but there's still like a residual energy around you with it. Do you remember when you did your hair like that? Was there like some kind of significance to it when you did it? Were you going through a change or some kind of, do you remember what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So was it some kind of change or some kind of
Yeah.
significance? Okay, good. So then I asked them what it is. Whatever they give me, you can make up some bullshit stuff, tell me whatever. Okay,
I
let me
was
show
in
you.
a stupid relationship.
Uh-huh.
I didn't like it. My parents were stupid.
Yeah, you were in a stupid relationship and then you just,
Yeah.
you did something to your hair. Now it's interesting because you've moved on, right? And people around you have seen you move on, but you still, this is what's unique about you, because a lot of humans have this, but I think this is where your care comes in. Because on the outside, you portray kind of like a bitchy attitude, I'll be honest with you. But you actually care. You're the kind of person who, the people that get close to you, your loyalty is unquestionable to those people. Boom, here's another one that every human wants to have.
Yeah.
See how that works? But you see how it kind of worked it into there?
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, so let's go back to the cold read. That residual that you still keep around of that hair, whatever, it's still like, even though you've moved on, I don't know if it's a lesson you have to learn from it, from your past, or if like you're looking at your future and you're never going to make that mistake again, or it's shaped what your future is going to be. But I definitely see that you're carrying this with you, and I want you to know, now watch this, I'm going to give power back. I want you to know that this is important to you, and you should keep it. You don't need to get rid of it, no matter what anybody says. This is a part of you. Boom.
Yeah.
Even though I'm cold reading, I can still get emotions from you if I really go for it. Can you
Yeah.
see that? So, with the women, something has happened with their hair at some point. Now let's say it hasn't happened. Because that's not negative, we're going to miss, right? So I go, see something with your hair. Was your hair like drastically different at some point? Did you do something totally different? You go to the no, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever do anything with your hair? Like, and you see what I'm doing? I'm like giving you all kinds of fucking hair shit.
Yeah,
Like color or,
style.
yeah, did you ever do anything, you never did, did you ever? Okay, interesting. Were you ever like, thinking about doing hair or being a cosmetologist? Would you ever have that? It's another thing hot girls have.
Yeah,
Now, did you ever have that? Or
no.
Okay. So let's say you don't, alright? But now I just, see I kind of like veered off to this one. Oh, it's hair, oh, it's cosmetology or whatever, right? Did you ever have some kind of cosmetology or anything like that that you were into? Were you, say no, say no. I'm gonna keep missing. I'm gonna keep missing, but I'm gonna show you how to keep going on
Okay,
my
got
list,
it.
okay? Did you ever have, until I hit. If I hit, then say yes, okay? Did you ever have any kind of hair or whatever?
No.
Okay. Well, it's interesting because it's definitely here. Now look, I'm still not wrong.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with my certainty. Because I know and you don't know, I'm the goddamn psychic right now, right? It's definitely here. There's something about hair. Now, did you ever have like a best friend or a relative that was just all about hair and you guys were very close?
Yes.
You did. Was that person and you, was your relationship like so tight that at some time you felt like you were responsible for that person?
Yes.
Okay, it's interesting, because that is still here somewhere. Now, I don't know what's happened.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go from there to there to there, and a girl is either gonna have done something with her hair, has wanted to do hair, or has had a fucking friend that wanted to do hair.
Yes.
Now, if I completely miss everything, then I'm gonna go into this, and this is the bullshit line that you catch, but if you've hit 1, 2, 3 times, then what I'm about to say, the prediction will be accepted. And the prediction will sound something like this. Okay, well, I want you to keep an eye out, because I do see some hair. You know what I mean? And it's very prominent. So keep an eye out for people that maybe some kind of information will come to you from someone who does hair, or maybe your hairstylist, are you close with it? And I just throw this out. Just keep an awareness for that, because I do see a significance with hair coming up in your life. End of that, and I drop it like fucking hot coal, and I move on to something else when I miss that many times.
Okay.
Okay? So any questions?
No.
You got all that?
Yeah.
I need you to recap as whatever's in your mind. I know I went over a lot. Just whatever stands out.
Well, just that you always have to kind of generalize. You want to think of common things that everyone's been through in life, whether it's losing a person, physically, emotionally, like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You want to kind of attract them and get like how they're reacting to you and go harder on that or not. And then you also want to go through things like, for being a girl, you want to go through those common things like.
You're a female, so you know what female's
Yeah.
been through.
Exactly. And then you want to pinpoint that. You want to kind of, if you keep getting like rejected on it, you want to keep hitting different aspects and stay in control. You don't want.
Yes, you
them
never
to
admit you're
see-
wrong.
Wait, yeah, exactly.
Your final acceptance of wrong is, well, look for this to happen now.
Yes.
And then you drop it and you move on to the next thing. Now here's a general statement I want to give you. I'm going to give you 2 general statements that hit a lot of times, and again, these are like the main branches of the tree, and then there's leaves if you miss, okay, or little branches that come out of it. So here's one. You're at a point in your life. Now, I recommend, by the way, this one to be the one you use from the start. Now, let's say I'm going to do palm reading. Okay, it's interesting. Have you ever palm read, blah, 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 well, this is that, and you just heart line, love line, whatever fucking line, right? But you see, and now I'm just going to pick some stupid shit. You see how right here, your heart line, it crosses, and there's a branch. That's unique in people. I don't have that. How are you going to fucking know if I have that, okay? Okay, now, this tells me, and now quote me on this, because this is the fucking statement that hits a lot. You're at a very important point in your life. You're at a point where you're looking at your past, and the things that have happened, and you're getting the lessons from the past. But you're at the point in your life now where you're also looking in the future, making some really important decisions in your life. And this is a valuable time for you to learn those lessons and make sure that you're going the right way. And you are on that point in your life. Boom, end of quote. That shit hits for everybody.
Okay.
Can you see that? Would
Yeah.
that hit for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay? So that's one of my general statements that I go to if I'm really gaming hard. Like, I don't really use cold reading in the game. I really don't. But of course I have a lot of skills, and if I want to, I'll fuck a bitch up left and right if I need to. Okay? Because if you do it right, she's like, oh my God, right? You know? So the basic statement, the formula is, you're at this point in your life, looking at the past, making choices, learning your lessons from things you've done, but you look in the future, making some really important decisions for yourself right now. And you're trying to make sure that the lessons from the past are going to take you to the future. Well, everybody has that.
Okay.
Okay? I'll give you another general statement. Here's a good one that looks like you're a fucking psychic and a half. I get something, because I see bruises on your knees and stuff, I don't know what you do for a living, but I get this thing, there's like this image of between like 4 and 8, I don't know if you have memory from there, some kind of accident with your knee or falling off or like hurting something, right? Maybe you have a knee injury when you're younger, maybe you could even, now watch, as I'm looking at her, maybe it was even older, you were doing cheerleading or gymnastics or something, I see something with your knees. Okay, I'm gonna pause right here. Did you ever have anything with your knees, any kind of injury?
Yeah.
You did, right?
In cheer.
What?
In cheer.
In cheer?
Yeah.
Okay, see that? I didn't even know you were a fucking cheerleader. But I knew if I missed the childhood, I'm gonna move up to it. Because most hot girls have done cheerleading and gymnastics or some fucking shit like that. I have missed saying that before, okay? Then, whatever, you just go move forward and then you go, well, I don't know what it is with your knees, like, be aware as you move forward, okay? You wear high heels, you go up and down the stairs and you fucking work a lot, okay? You move, alright, be aware of your fucking knees. You have this energy around your knees, or was it somebody around you that fell? Was it a grandma or grandpa that fell? Was it, I don't know. Oh yeah, she fell recently. Okay, is that the person that's close to you? Yes, I care about them. Sometimes we take on the pain of other people. See how fucking just bullshit my way right into that.
Yeah.
Okay, so be aware of that, because you don't want to physically take her pain on. You want to be able to heal her psychically, but it's important that you keep yourself safe. Boom. There's my advice line. Now, good psychics give advice. Without advice, I'm just reading her. And then the person starts to speak, oh my God, he knows everything about me, and they actually start to get freaked out if you do this in set. If you do it to a brand new girl, they feel, I've done it, man. So you gotta come back with some advice. So she wants to keep listening to you, like, oh my God, yeah, I need to hear that. Is my advice true? Physical manifestation of somebody else's pain? It's like, yes. So we get to one of the most important rules for cold reading for me. And people that follow it are gonna be better than other people, just because of the way the mind or we work as spiritual beings. It's this: if you're gonna cold read somebody, leave them better off than when they first got there.
Okay.
See that?
So almost like enlighten them.
You have to. That's what I do. Well, that's the rule I use with girls in my life.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm gonna get them in my life on a certain level, I have to leave them better than they were before, because I ask for a lot.
Yeah.
I just do. So if I'm asking for that, by them complying, their life should get better, not worse.
So making it like worth their while.
Exactly. When you leave a good psychic, you leave feeling better about yourself. You get it? And that's really important. So there's going to be advice given. There's going to be acknowledgement of unique personal traits that everybody wants to have. Everybody wants to know they're loyal. Everybody wants to know they're actually stronger than they display. So that's one thing I can say is, again, reading the person, depending how they act, right? So let's say I say something like, you're the kind of person that your friends come to for advice. That's true for a lot of girls, and if it's not, even if one person's asked them, they want to say, yes, I'm that girl, right? Sometimes you deal with a stupid bitch who's just going to be like, no, actually, I'm like the one that always goes to advice for them. Oh, really? That's interesting. Because there is a side of you, maybe even untapped. But if you think back, there is a side of you that if you are ever in need, or better yet, if people you love, or they rely on you, if they're ever in need of your strength, you're one strong motherfucker. You may have not been displaying it up until now, see that? But you know you're a survivor. Sometimes you may have to manipulate people, you may have to ally yourself with stronger people, but the thing about you is, there's a survivor in you. Because how old are you? Blah, blah, blah. You've made it through some rough times, huh? Boom! That hits.
Yeah.
And she'll accept that. That was if I went completely the wrong fucking way on your friends come to you and you're a leader. One thing you want to do when you co-read a woman, you want to give her the frame of mind that she accepts that she's a leader, she's not a follower. Because if she's a leader, then you can entice her, believe it or not, as funny as that is, you can entice her to do things that she normally wouldn't do. Because the crowd's going to judge her as a slut, but she doesn't give a shit what the crowd says. The crowd is going to be like, don't go home with him or her, but she's the fucking leader. Her friends may be like, we're going over here right afterwards, but you want her to come home with you. So you need her to be the one who makes the fucking choice, not her friends. So the cold read, when it's pushed towards seduction, I'm feeding that side of her. So if she said, yes, my friends do come to me, I say, yeah. Because there is something unique about you. Now, friends always, you see how I'm not going to count this calibration. Because if I was like, yes, you are very powerful, I'm not going to do that. Calibration is, now people always go to each other for advice. Friends give friends advice. The difference about you is, when you know it's the right thing for you, you're gonna do it regardless of what anybody else says. And that's what makes you unique. And if more people were like you, honestly, we'd probably be in a better world. Boom. Yeah. True. Okay? Because you don't follow the crowd. I mean, granted, calibration. You will when it's the right thing to do and you don't want to cause unnecessary trouble, but if it's something that you want to do, let's say it's like, your friend's like, we're going to go here, and you're like, you wanted to do something else. You're capable of doing it by yourself and still having a good time. I now put the frame there that her and I will hang out later. Way later. Okay, it's not going to be like, right after, I'm not going to be like, so you want to come over? Because that would be stupid, right?
Yeah.
We go through the cold read, she accepts that, she'll be not, if I'm doing it right, she'll be fucking nodding and shit. Yes, yes. Or she'll, a lot of times, you have to learn, this is another aspect of cold read, you have to know when to shut up. She starts talking, now she's going to give you a shitload more information.
Yeah.
That's what happens to the psychics. Got a child coming to, okay. It's an older person, coughing, there's like a chest, is there like there's a blood, I'm seeing. Is it like it's a heart attack? Man, how many motherfuckers, somebody just had a heart attack in my fucking gym 2 days ago, right? It's a heart attack, not my gym, personal gym, but the gym I work out at. Heart attack, and I'm looking, and heart attack's going on. Now watch, I'm gonna get more specific. It's a blow to the chest. Am I getting so I just spotted the heart attack is there. But I'm looking for more specific. Is there a blow to the chest? Is it an accident that, oh my God, my fucking car accident, chest blew up or some shit, I got shot in the chest. Blow to the chest, right? I'm getting something here. I'm getting like a name, like, it's a J, S, look at the fucking, I'm gonna go through the goddamn alphabet. It's J, S, J, it's a letter like, what is that shit? Now, I'm waiting for the person to fucking spit it out. Because they want the read.
Yeah.
So she's like, no, it's an A. Okay, yeah, A, like, it sounds like J, A, J, right. So, something here, what happened? Most of the time the person's like, well, my son just got shot in the chest. Right. And asking for questions. And they're telling, I'm getting that this is still, they're unsure exactly what happened. That's every fucking murder almost. Right? Yeah, they're still investigating, or they found the murderer, but they say that there may have been more victims, or whatever the fuck it is. Now I've got to give the fucking positive. Okay? Wants you to know that he's fine where he's at. And was there some kind of, was there something unfinished that you guys had to, everybody's got that fucking unfinished business with the dead person. Was there something unfinished between you guys? Something that you either had to tell the person, or they were in the middle of, yeah, we got in a fight, okay? He just wants you to know it's just fine. He's in a way better place. In fact, he's telling me right now, he's telling me that it's okay. You can actually, you can do whatever it is that you were talking to him about, it's okay. The argument is always about some shit like that.
Yeah.
I want to do something, I don't want to do something. Okay? It's going to hit or not hit. If it doesn't hit, you move on really fast or you change it. If it hits, you're like, yes. And then suddenly when it hits, you hit that shit so confidently. Like as if you're a fucking god. So I say to you, the knee thing, you go, oh my God, yeah, when I was a cheerleader. Exactly. That's what I see. You definitely had an injury on your knee. So, good. Now I'm like, yeah, of course. So the next statement I'm going to make is going to be a lot more accepted because I have confidence. Confidence is all about, you never see the psychic go, in fact, when they're wrong, they will literally, I've seen this on TV, they will literally be like, okay, well, that's what's happening right now, so I'm going to come back to you. You, sir, is there a child? And drop the person. But they're hitting 1, 2, 3, miss 1, 1, 2, 3. People remember the fucking hits because there's the tears and shit. And the one that misses is just kind of like, and you know what happens when they miss? They're going to see the person hit, and they're going to try to figure out how it's right for them. And then you'll see this. Watch these psychic shows. The person will raise their hand and be like, actually, I just remembered something. Before he died, there was a blue shoe on the side of the road, and he commented on it. That's what the blue shoe was. I swear. And it's like, exactly. They said, yeah. And then we're back into the shit. That's human nature, and that's actually why they do it like that. It's easier than like this.
Okay.
Because then you could just keep going, yes and no, and people, it's like a hypnosis act. People will see other people get hypnotized, and they're like, oh shit. And they go into it. They go into it faster. You know what I mean? Okay, any questions so far?
No.
Okay, give me a little recap.
So basic general statements that you like to use all the time is,
There's two very important ones I gave you.
the one that, hold on, give me a second.
Okay.
Um,
One's their knees. Everyone has a knee injury
Oh,
between
yeah,
4
the
and 8 or
injury.
above, yeah.
and then also how they, no, don't remember.
Yeah, you're looking at your past. You're a critical point
Yeah,
in your life
past,
right now.
present, future, like, so you wanna use.
You want to tell them they're at an important
into the-
juncture in their life. They're at an important point in their life.
Yeah.
That's how it starts. You're looking at your past, blah, 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 you're looking at the future, and you're making a decision. Boom. Learning from the past, going to the future. That's everybody.
Okay.
We're all looking at the past, learning, and moving to a future, and we're all at an important point. Whatever the
Yeah,
fuck
and
that
then the
is.
second one was the knee thing.
Yes, those are
that
two
everyone
statements.
hit, whether it's like family or yourself or whatever.
Mhm.
And also, well, kind of what I'm getting is that it's kind of like a push and pull, like
Exactly.
the calibration thing. It's
Mhm.
like you wanna feed them and like pump them up and be like,
Yeah.
okay, but then kind of take it away and be like, but,
Mhm.
like, you know,
Mhm.
kind of like take back your control almost.
Yes, always. You're always in control.
Yeah, and then with the whole thing about like girls, how that's what they always went through, like you could relate to them and whatever, and a whole group aspect, you still find that person, and that's what you were saying about like, well, no, that's not you. You want to go to the next, and
Yes.
you want to give them everything, feed them everything to where they want to believe it, like they want to make it about themselves at the end.
Mhm. Good. Now watch. Is there a blue, a person died, blah, blah, I get a blue shoe. Now that's so goddamn fucking general. Or I get Nikes, Nike Jordans, and the person's like, no. Okay, well I'm definitely getting Nike Jordan, I'm getting shoe, my child, blah, 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 or it was Nike Jordan, yes. Okay, he's coming through, 1 second, have a seat, that was my miss.
Okay.
You see that? I got someone coming through talking about Nike Air Jordans. What is that? Oh, it was blah, 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 right. And was there, now watch this, was there is what, I'm not predicting shit. Was there is a question that sounds like I'm predicting when I get it right, and when I get it wrong, I'm not getting it wrong, because I'm going, was there? You know, if I said to a girl, well, what if you came home with me later? And she was like, well, I'm not going to. I said, yeah, you're not, but what if you did? Can you imagine what would happen, blah, blah, blah. I didn't say you were coming, bitch, I said, what if you did?
Yeah.
Can you imagine us hanging out? I would never hang out with you. Listen, I didn't say we're gonna hang out, I said, can you imagine us hanging out? Do you have a good imagination? Well, imagine if we did blah, 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 blah. Good, I don't think you're my type at all. I'm just saying. Okay, it's a statement that can get you out. Okay? Was there a blah, blah, blah? Was there? And they say no, but what am I saying? I'm gonna go to this. Was there a knee injury somewhere? Was there somebody fell? Some kind of knee problem? I'm gonna go back to that fucking thing. I'm gonna go back to that, to one of my hard,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna keep using that on a group over and over and over. I have my general statements in a line. I'm gonna throw out some crazy shit. I see an airplane. Is there an airplane? Because two people had a fucking plane crash or some shit, right? Or someone was gonna get an airplane. Yes, airplane, good. Now I'm getting something with a decision being made, going forward. It was a critical moment in their life, looking back, blah, blah. I want you to know they made that decision and it's all okay. Or you can make that decision. So I saved, as a major psychic, I saved these major statements for these like crazy throws that I throw out that not everybody has had a plane crash. Not everybody has had a yellow, I get a yellow, is that a yellow flower? Is it a bow? It's a yellow, it's like a yellow shirt, maybe a yellow, get this, maybe a yellow flower on a shirt, maybe a yellow shirt, you know? It's like, fuck it,
Yeah.
I'm looking for somebody like yellow. Yellow, yeah, what is it? Oh, it was I have this shirt, and the motherfucker will bring out a yellow shirt. Yeah! Right on, okay? And then you throw out one of those fucking general statements as much as you can. Now for death and dead people, they have their own general statements. That's not my main forte, it's not my research. I've just watched enough to watch how they fucking do it after I learned it, right? To see if I can see what I'm telling you. But for seduction, it's a different thing. For seduction, we're looking at betrayal. We're looking at a person living for themselves. We're looking at the two sides of their personality. We're looking at the social and the private side of them. We're looking at the person who goes along with the crowd but has their own integrity that, you know, if it came down to it, they would do it. We're looking at the person who, for seduction, has two sides. The responsible side, the working side, and the wild, crazy side that, I don't know, they get drunk or do Molly or what is that shit that they do. That side of you. That's seduction, and you could hit that with everybody, right?
Yeah.
One more for seduction when it comes to girls. Girls like to act like they're little fucking good angels and shit. You never ever buy that shit, ever buy that. I just schooled some girl the other day, and I'll read you the text later. Schooled her. Because, no. There's no girl above 17 who's an angel. It's just impossible. Okay, impossible. So if she gives me that, that's a beautiful moment for me.
Okay.
Let's go over this, you know, and tell her, hold on a second. Who do you think you're talking to? Let's be honest, okay? Yes, you got everybody fooled. There's another side of you. In fact, you know who walks around saying I'm an angel? Is the motherfucker who's done a lot of dirt. So what have you really done? You want to pull their fucking secrets. If you start from there, you go into a cold read. So, now let's get into some of the ways. I could have done your hand and said everything I said. I could have done your astrology. Could have given me any sign. What I recommend with astrology is get familiar with the 12 signs, what the culture says is true. What's the agreed upon generalization? Because almost all girls at some point have read their astrology. And they are familiar with whatever you're about to say, so you could start with that. Right? If you said Aquarius to me, and I went with that, I would say, oh, well, interesting. You're very down for your friends, you're very individualistic, and freedom is one of the most important things to you. That makes you very unique from the other signs. And you're an intellectual. If somebody wants the vagina, they better get into the head first. You get that?
Yeah.
Now we know this about Aquarians, and I can start, yes, he must know what he's talking about. Then I go into my cold read, and it's like a whole different level.
Yes.
You could get into, I can tell you more about you than your best friend knows, actually. Now you're going to get into, for seduction, I had a teacher, I had a mentor, who actually taught me ancient astrology. See, the astrology that you read these days, that's bullshit. That's like fucking reality show Kim Kardashian, Paris Hilton. But astrology used to rule the planets. People of this land, like the ancient pyramids, are aligned with astrology, everything. So that's what he taught me. Now I'm going to tell you a few things, okay? And otherwise it's going to cost you anything more than that, or whatever the fuck. And then I get into my cold read, but you see how I framed it?
Yeah.
I gave her what she already knew. Yes, this guy knows what he's talking about. I went into why my knowledge is going to be more powerful, and now I'm about to get into my cold read. And everything I said now is going to have astrology behind it. So I can say, for example, you know, you're a water sign. But you're not really a water sign. Water is a symbol. You're an air sign, which means you're an intellectual. So you got to understand the difference between you and somebody else is you're actually smarter than almost all your friends. And you're going to find yourself frustrated with people. It's like you can see what they can't see so many times. And you can give them advice, but they don't listen to you. And you find yourself sometimes exasperated, like, I'm not even going to give advice anymore. Now the interesting thing is, sometimes you can't take your own advice. Boom, that's a cold read.
Okay.
It would hit for everybody.
Yeah.
But I said you're an air sign, I could have said you're an earth sign. Now what's interesting is you can see what people are going through because you're very grounded. You're a fire sign. You can see what people are going through because you have the passion to look at life. And others are like airy-fairy, you know, air signs, or like they're going to be, you burn through the bullshit. But sometimes you don't take your own advice. Boom, it's for everybody everywhere.
Yeah.
So once you understand basic astrology, you use cold read and you put it in there. Once you understand heart line, love line, and if you want to get better, you actually find out which ones are what, and you get some basics, and then you start there, then you cold read as if that's what's happening. That's your lifeline, and it actually is interesting because see how deep it is? The depth of it tells me you're at a very crucial point in your life. You're looking back on your life, learning some valuable lessons. If you see them go backwards, it gets a little deeper, longer, shorter, it's stretched, I don't fucking know, right? And going forward, it's incomplete. This doesn't mean you have a short life, it means you're now making some decisions. Oh, it sounds so legit, because now we're looking at it. Handwriting analysis, same thing. You see the spacing you put between your L and your I, or the capital letter and the small letter, or the first word and the second word? See that spacing? This tells me you have two sides to your personality. You have the side that everybody sees, like as you read it, you can just read it, but when you look closer, you do keep your distance. You do have that private side to you that very few people have known. This means there's been a betrayal. Notice there's almost a betrayal between your words here. They're not even related to each other. There's such a space. Or look how close they are to each other. You like to have people around you, but when you look at your A is so much bigger than all the other ones. This is the first letter of the alphabet, and this tells me that you're an individual. You want people close, but you want to keep your space. I'm just bullshitting on my ass now, right? But you want to have whatever tarot cards. This is the Fool, this is the Death card, and this is the fucking King of Swords, or whatever the fuck it is, right? And now this tells me, you see, you have that childlike innocence to you. At some point in your life, it's been betrayed. This is where we got the Death card. This is the death of that child. But when we look here, we got the King of Swords, or whatever the fuck I said, right? And this is what's going to take the courage. When someone gets close to you, it's going to be your future now. That was the past, the present, the future. Your future is going to consist of you going back and learning the lessons you learned. making these crucial moments, dying to the past, yet taking the lessons and being reborn. This is what the sword symbolizes. The sword is something that you cut through the illusions of life. Oh my God. That's how it works.
Yeah.
On every area of psychicness. Then we get to this. Is there people who can legitimately do cards and legitimately do palm reading and all that? The answer is yes, but I haven't seen it. So how would I know it's yes?
Yeah.
Just because of history research and my own personal things. So how do we get into that? Now we get into somebody else. Let's get into some other real shit now. It's not cold read, it's a bonus. This is a bonus. You clean yourself out where you're able to get out of your own head and really look at somebody. This is the girls that like, I just want someone to listen to me or whatever, right? Where you can just boom. You start talking. And as you're talking, you, meaning me, I'm talking and an emotion hits me. So I'm like, I go, you've been betrayed in your past and blah, 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 and acceptance has been a big deal. And then I feel it. That's not me, that's you. See that? Because now I'm in tune with you. So it's true that emotion transfers. My emotion was not that. So I look for any external emotion that enters while I'm talking, and it hits me. That's how I know if a girl wants me or doesn't want me to. I clean out as much as I can. So I'm talking. I look back to Thursday night when I was over there, and the response with the girl we were talking about in there. As I'm talking to her, even though whatever my body said, I'm fully in tune with her. And that's what I'm using to calibrate. As I say a certain thing, an emotion hits, I go, that's not mine. That was her. An emotion hits, that's not mine, that was her. And this continues, just like the cold read, I go in the direction of the positive emotion. After a while, she's wrapped with all this positive emotion, because you literally, it's like my dog now, you literally are in tune. Empathy, sympathy, I don't know what other fucking words they had. Affinity is another word for it, closeness of somebody. You can get to a point where you could actually be around someone, and they choke up and you choke up. And you normally wouldn't choke up. And you hear people say shit like this, like, I don't know why, I never normally cry when that happens.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't you crying. You were so in tune with another being that their emotion hit you. This is what now on a psychic level, if you're going to deal with like insane, crazy, sick in the head people, you have to know exactly what your vibration level is, because they're going to affect you. Now the truth of it is this, you, by being in front of somebody and talking to them, if you're a higher vibration, you will 100% raise their frequency. They will be better after talking to you. This is also true. No matter how hard you try, you will drop a little bit if they're lower.
Yeah.
This is why you have to, when you leave a place or anything, after I do a lot of lectures or deal with a person one-on-one, you have to clean yourself. This is what dogs do, they shake.
Is that like the same thing as like grounding yourself?
Grounding is another word for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the concept in the philosophy is when two energies, they go around each other in different frequencies, the higher frequency will naturally come lower and the lower will come higher. So this one will feel better no matter what.
Yeah.
Have you ever talked to somebody, you give them a lot of advice, they're like, oh my God, I feel so much better. They walk away, then you feel like shit.
Yeah.
Okay? This happens. Okay, this happens to guys a lot. You talk to a girl, you make her feel better, she's like, oh my God, I love you. She walks away, you feel like shit. What the fuck happened to me, man? You know what I mean? It's like a psychic vampire. Okay? So you have to have ways of cleaning yourself out. One of the ways is to get in contact with nature. Nature, the vibration of nature, the frequency of nature cleans out a human being. Okay? So that could be the ocean, that could be looking at the stars, that could be a bike ride, walking with your dog, walking in the trail, sitting in the park. You have to spend time in nature. It doesn't mean a minute. How long? You walk and you observe, or you sit and you observe nature. This communion with nature that Manu had does. You are in nature long enough so that because everything is vibrating at a certain level, that vibration enters your vibration, and now you go, okay, it's like you're clean now. Once you are vibrating at a natural level, whatever that is for you, you feel good.
Yeah.
This is why if you walk the mall too long, or if you're indoors too long, you start to feel groggy. Because these walls will prevent, they have their own frequency.
Yeah.
But it's fucked up compared to that out there.
Being open. Yeah.
If you ever gone camping, you always come back cleaner. Outside air. Okay? Now, what I'm just talking about now is considered true magic. And let's define magic as science that hasn't been discovered yet.
Yeah.
Because every science that we have now could be magic 400 years ago. See how that works?
Yeah.
So their magic these days is in the form of electronics. They're magical, what's that?
Like more physical.
Yes, but even the other things are physical. They're just a different vibration of
Uh-huh.
physics. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, if we talk spirit, we talk about that thing that has zero wavelength. That's the 0 point. That's what the number 0 represents. When you're in class, I said 3 is a magical number, 2, 1, 0. Okay, when we're counting. So, 0 is the symbol of spirit. And let's talk about the Taoism. From nothingness, something comes out. Everything, even quantum physics. The observer is always outside of the frequency. The frequency is the yin and the yang. The moment you get into the physical universe, you have a plus and a minus. These two interacting create the million things. This is the first passage of the Tao. Whatever created the one created the two, out of the two came the 10,000 things. 10,000 things is another word they used to use in China for everything. That was like the infinite number they had. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, real magic, 0, that's you. Anytime you think spiritual, think nothingness. From there, everything comes.
Okay.
Right outside of that, wherever there is something, even if it's a thought or whatever, it's now on a wavelength of the physical universe. It's just either really dense, like a diamond is very dense, that's why you can't break it, or a thought, which is very translucent. But thought has weight. When you feel very heavy in a day, you have some heavy thoughts.
Yeah.
When you feel light, boom, your thoughts are different. Because they actually weigh down the being, right? So that's the answer, the spiritual versus the physical. The only thing spiritual is you. Outside of that, there's spiritual thinking, which what does that mean? That's defined in magic as any kind of thought that raises your frequency towards 0.
Okay.
That's going up towards 0, not down towards 0.
Got it.
Okay? So because the physical universe frequency is dense. You get it? Now arts, music, painting, art, anything that we consider art is very high frequency. That's why it inspires. Inspiration means in spirit, the word. When we watch something and go, I'm inspired, we're closer to spirit than anything else. At that moment, when a person looks at the physical world, it doesn't have the same weight. They're inspired to go to space. They're inspired to create something no one's ever had. They're inspired to fly. Suddenly, they're looking at the physical laws and going, I can best the physical laws. That's what spirit does. Spirit can handle physics, right? When they want us to be animals, they bring us down to the level of material universe, right? And now you're stuck into the time zone and matter and energy and shit like that. But a true spirit is outside of that, controlling it. So magic is how you apply some of the, I'll give you an example. Gravity, right, is a law of magic,
Yeah.
okay? Attraction, repulsion, that's gravity. So the planets are attracting and repulsing shit all the time, right? That's a law of magic. Until it was discovered, people couldn't do anything with it. The moment they found out there's a force that you can't see, but it's there, everywhere, they started to be able to fucking do all kinds of shit with gravity. So the things we're talking about are there. Like electricity's there, but until someone discovered it, there was no electricity.
Yeah.
It's not like someone made electricity. Whatever his name, Jefferson, whatever the fuck, Edison. He didn't make electricity. Discovered the laws of electricity. It wasn't even him, it was Tesla really, but what people do is they discover certain laws that are already there, functioning, but the moment you have it, you can harness it. So now you got IMC Academy, it's like this thing of Arash Dibazar and everything else. These laws are there. They're just, how do you harness them? You understand the law, you play with it, you harness it, now you have electricity. Where the rest of the world is in darkness, you're in light. And that's what magic is. Let's face them and see if there's any questions. That was bonus hour. Okay, questions guys? On cold reading, not on MJ.
I've heard you say before, Ross, like the 3 things that, and then you go into it like, this first thing will like really hit, right? And earlier in the lecture you said that you don't really do code reading anymore, so I was wondering what...
I said I don't cold read anymore, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so what about it?
What, are you more selective or you just don't really use it in your game anymore?
I really believe in this law. It's a law that with great responsibility, with great power comes great responsibility. Right? So like I said, I won't never use it. Just in the situations I find myself in, I don't want to use it. Because every time you watch any kind of these, again, magic is such a misunderstood term, but one thing you'll find in all of them is that there's consequences to what you do, okay? I like to replace the term consequences is there's cause and effect law, which is a magical law. So if you're going to cause something, there's going to be an effect, right? If I'm going to do that, I know what the effect is that I have on another person, and I better be fucking ready. You know what I mean? Because if I do it, I can do it at a... You would just watch those psychics. Psychics are so rich, man. You excited?
Yeah.
You know who Kobe girls?
Huh? No, but I just wanted to look it up and stuff.
Yeah. The best way to do it is to go on YouTube and put psychics cold reading.
Okay.
And you'll see a bunch of them, and there's people even breaking it down and shit. You know who Darren Brown is?
No.
Okay. He did a series called Debunking or some shit. And he went after 3 prominent psychics. He's a very high level magician, like magic, stage magic and mentalist. And he just fucked them up, man. It was awesome. It was awesome. So he's one of the guys I studied on that subject. Darren Brown. Good. Anything else? Because we're wrapping.
What are some of those cold reads that you can say that can relate to everybody? Like what are some that you can?
The ones that I just went over. Do you remember them?
Oh, some of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. There might be some I forgot.
Everybody's had a knee injury. Everybody has an inside-outside personality. Everybody's social but private. Everyone is, people come to them for advice. Everybody gives advice but can't keep their own advice. Everyone's going, looking back at their life, making decisions now for the future. Everyone's been betrayed. Things like that.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Stuff comes from me just looking at, this is what I do, I study people, right? So you talk to enough people, like I can read girls left and right because you talk to enough girls, you'll be able to just look at her now. Knowing what a profession is, I can tell you strippers have the same fucking problems. You talk to a lot of them, very, very similar problems. They don't trust anybody. They can't. You know, how are you going to trust somebody? Okay, for sure they don't trust any man. It's a done deal, okay? You work in a strip club for 3-4 months, men are just, like, you forget it. You've seen every kind of married, celebrity, fat, skinny, rich, poor, and they're all the same. And they all want to take you home. Is that true?
Yeah.
How can they trust that, right? If you and I ended up in a strip club as a man and we were male strippers, we would feel the same about women. 100%. They're disgusting as fuck when it comes to that. But I've been with enough women to know that they're that disgusting, so they can't fucking fuck with me. Men are disgusting, women are disgusting. But the label disgusting is not me putting that label on them. That's society, that weak shit. So they're not really disgusting. Here's what it is. Men are men and women are women. There's nothing disgusting about it. I love women the way they are. You know what I mean? It's just that they try to walk around portrayed as something else they're not. And men the same thing. Right? So part of my game and the power of my game is I don't walk around portraying myself as something else. A girl knows what she's fucking dealing with. That's it. She either likes it or doesn't like it. Okay? Okay. Good. Anything else? Yeah.
Would you ever do a co-reading where there's more than one person? Like,
It's easier for me. I could.
And if say the obstacle of the friend's like, oh, well, everyone's been betrayed and she just, you know.
Yeah, and friends will say that. Friends will jump in. If you're reading her friend will jump in and try to fucking kill you cold read. Oh, that's for everybody. You know. So you just handle it by going back and forth between them. If you're gonna cold read, start with the obstacle and do both of them simultaneously. Put out your hand, put out your hand. Okay, here we go. This is your lifelines, whatever. Boom, boom, boom. Now she might still challenge you. When she'll challenge you is when she thinks you're gonna hit on her friend. It's the same as game. But if she's being flattered and her friend is the hot one who normally gets hit on, she's gonna want you to keep continuing. That's how you handle an obstacle. So you get her wanting to stay, and then the friend could be like, okay, you know, your target, and she'll be like, no. This is the first time she's getting attention when her friend is there. The problem is the guy will go both hands, and he'll blah, 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 and then when he goes to her, his vibe changes. She's the one he wants. So she feels it. And then again, you know, and she starts being cute and whatever, and he just starts forgetting about her. This is stupid, let's go, or blah, blah, blah. So that's pure game, is, you know, good game. You deal with the obstacle, disarm the obstacle, and then fucking deal with it.
What happens if you hit hit it too accurately and she gets freaked out.
It's happened to me the other day.
It's happened to me too, so I just wonder how you dealt with it.
I just went into who I am. You know, so when she was like, "You're psychic," I said, "I put psychics in my pocket." And I said, "This is real power." And I started to explain, listen, you know, if you find out who I really am, you would have two choices. You would fucking run and never ever come back. But you wouldn't say one bad word about me, because that would, you know, you would fuck yourself at that point. Or you would give up everything you have in life and be around me, because then you know who the fuck I am. And that is who I am. That's like my answer, but it's congruent with me. That's who I am, really. Find out who the fuck I really am, you have two choices. You're definitely not gonna be in the middle ground. I kinda know Arash. Get the fuck out of here, man. You can't kind of know Arash. You're either in or you're out, period. So it's gotta be congruent for who you are. If you're like a funny guy, then she says that, you laugh it off. If you're like a spiritual healer guy, like I'm a guy, then she says that, he's like, you have nothing to fear, you know? Fear itself is this blah blah blah, energy that drains. She's like, oh my god, yes. Yeah, depends, it has to be congruent with who you are. If you like, we talked about you like, you're an adventurer type, oh my god, you're scaring me. Say, where's your sense of adventure? You know, you gotta break out of the box. You live in the same world, doing the same shit, dealing with the same people, eating the same food, talking the same subjects, you know, it's watching the same TV shows every fucking day. Okay? It's about adventure. If this shit freaks you out, then we can't get along. She walks away, good. She needs to walk away. Because there's another bitch who'll be like, yes, you're my man. You're looking for that one. You're going through life trying to find that one who gets you at some level. Not the one who doesn't get you and try to convert her. When you think like that, think about fucking evangelists walking to your door and trying to convert you. No, bitch. You're Jehovah's Witness? Down the street right there. That house is Jehovah's Witness. Go knock there. Have a great conversation, they'll feed you. You know what I mean? You're a Christian, next door is Christian. Whatever the fuck you are, I'm not. Leave me the fuck alone. Because it's annoying. If I want it, I'll come get it. So think with that when it comes to dealing with women. Right? Are you trying to convince them? It's almost like you're pushing your fucking religion on them. Stop. Just say, yo, this is my religion. You know what I mean? I've been fucking saved. And she goes, wow, you're crazy. Good. I've been fucking saved. You're crazy. I've been fucking saved. Oh, me too. Jesus Christ loves you. Come on, bitch, let's fuck. That's how it's supposed to be. So you go around and you say who you are. Without apology, with true knowledge, and the right ones will attract and the wrong ones will repel. And that's how it's supposed to be. Then you build your own galaxy. You become the sun, and each one of them becomes a planet around you.